Hello and welcome to the Long Island Weather Report. It is about 10 o'clock, the last day of February, February 28th, 2025, and although it was a very mild day, it was quite beautiful. We actually had some clear skies, and that meant, yeah, you know what that meant, right? Yeah, got to the Pines, and got to the Pines, and I also went to Southerns Lake, and then you can see the cirrus starting to roll in by the afternoon, but we did have clear skies for late morning through early afternoon. There was some stratoQ, but they were more of a problem over New Jersey, not so much over us. And then later on, the cirrus started coming in. This doesn't really show it, but obviously now we've got the cirrus rolling in, mainly to the north of us, and there's actually some light rain just off to the north of us. If we look at the radar here, a little light precipitation just to the north. It's actually mainly snow, believe it or not. So that indicates that there's some colder air that's just off to the north. And then oddly enough, there's snow here, but then there's rain over the lakes, which is kind of interesting. So if we look at our weather map, you'll see the reason why. There's a cold front that's kind of stalled to our north that is going to actually move back as a warm front. And then we have a series of cold fronts for tomorrow, and that will bring colder air into Sunday. Looking at our weather and hazards map here, you'll see some wind advisories around the Great Lakes, the western Great Lakes, and some red flag warnings actually in the south. There could be some fires there, perhaps. Let's go to the CONUS view. Let's see if there's anything going on. We'll run this satellite loop through 60 frames. There is some smoke there, so I wonder if they are getting some wildfires down in the south there. Perhaps they are. Yeah, I could see some smoke over there over Oklahoma and stuff. So I don't think those are controlled burns. Probably are wildfires, hence the red flag warnings in those areas. Looking at our area, we have a southerly wind now, and the temperatures have dropped to the low 40s, 41 at Islip, south wind at 7. Got up to 52, though, at Islip. I'll show you what the day was like at Islip. And you'll see here that we got into the low 50s. We had a pretty gusty northwest wind, and then the winds became east around 6, and then we sort of got a sea breeze this afternoon where the wind shifted off to the south. And you can see how I meant this evening, and then you can see how the temperatures dropped pretty quickly once that happened. So and you'll see off to the north, it's much colder. So if we go up to the north here, we got 30s up in to our north here, 20s, even 20s up up north of Albany. So there's cold air there, but that's not the cold air we're going to be seeing. We're waiting for that other cold front to move through. So highs today across the area, low to mid 50s pretty much, 52 at Islip, low 28 at West Hampton. So somehow they had a little radiational cooling. Otherwise, lows were in the mid 30s and 40s in the city, and probably my alley too. So let's go look, and you can see there's a little bit of light precipitation off to the north. So let's go take a look at the Islip. And, of course, it is the end of the month, and we'll talk about February's climate data on Sunday night. High of 51 and a low of 36 puts us 8 degrees above normal at Islip for the day. So let's go and look at the models. We looked at all that other stuff. So we have a low-pressure system that's going to be moving through the Great Lakes, and that's going to bring a cold front through tomorrow. And then behind that cold front, a high builds in, a little bit of Arctic air. You could say, I guess they could say this is Arctic air. I mean, it's really, Arctic air is kind of stretching it, but it's a pretty good cold shot of air that's going to be coming through Sunday into Monday. And then after Monday, that high moves offshore and we start getting into the warmer flow again. So it'll be 2 days, 48 hours of some cold weather, and then it'll be moving on out, and it'll be going above normal again. So let's get the HRRR model we'll do the 0Z model here. And you get tracking this low here. You see that low right there going up into the Great Lakes. It might be the chance, possibly, especially out in the Twin Forks, there might be a light shower. Other than that, we're probably not going to see any precipitation at all. And then once that moves through Sunday, we'll have mostly sunny skies as that high builds down. Let's look at our dew points and wind flow. So southerly wind tonight. That'll keep the temperatures up. But then you can see what happens tomorrow in the afternoon when that cold front moves through. It's going to be very mild, and then when that cold front moves through later in the afternoon to the evening, the temperatures come crashing down Northwest winds, look at how low those dew points drop. This is Arctic air. Yeah, with dew points that low, it's Arctic air. And you can see most of the shot goes over New England, but you still see dew points dropping to perhaps as much as below zero on Sunday with very dry air and northwest winds. Could be some issues for fire weather because we haven't really had a whole lot of rain. So that's why I'll have to do another weather report tomorrow night because of that. We'll have a better idea of the risk involved. So let's go to our temperatures here. So tonight, it's probably not going to drop that much, upper 30s to around 40 probably. And then for tomorrow, tomorrow is going to be very warm early on. So early afternoon, we could actually make a run at 60 degrees even here on Long Island when those winds go to the west because there won't be much of a sea breeze. But then those temperatures come crashing. Tomorrow is going to be one of those days where you might not need a jacket early on, but you're going to need it later. So you might want to just take your jacket with you because you will need it later because look at what happens by tomorrow night. The temperatures drop down 40 degrees already probably by 5 o'clock or so, dropping through the 40s into the 30s after 7 or 8 o'clock, and then 20s. And by Sunday morning, yeah, this is Arctic air because we're going to be struggling to get up to the mid-teens. We're going to be down into the teens, upper teens perhaps by Sunday morning, and although it will warm up, to around the freezing mark probably for Sunday, but only probably low 30s is going to do it despite plenty of sun, and we should have plenty of sun because we'll look at the soundings here and see what we've got. Yeah, those lines are pretty far apart, so we should have probably a very nice clear sky on Sunday. Despite the chill. Then it starts to, and then as we get into Monday, you'll see that it starts to moderate a little bit more here, but still, the dew points here, still pretty low dew points, even as we get into Monday. Doesn't really start pulling out until we get toward Tuesday. So it's going to be pretty chilly. And we'll probably see, if those winds drop off on the Sunday night and the Monday, 0 could be a possibility in the Pine Barrens for a low if the winds drop off. But we'll have to see what happens if we can get that radiational cooling or not. So let's go to the RGM, look at the skies. Obviously, tonight and tomorrow we'll have some clouds, showing a band of clouds. And that band of cloud kind of clears up right around noon for just a little bit. And then the cold front comes through with another batch of clouds probably in the afternoon, 3, 4 o'clock. And then that moves on out, and then we are left with mostly sunny skies on Sunday. It's showing maybe a little bit of high cloudiness that might move through maybe Sunday night. But other than that, not really much in the way of clouds. Showing some lake effect, but I don't think that'll make it down here. You can look at the GFS as well. There's a GFS model. Yeah, it shows that little disturbance, and then we should be clear again later Monday. So there we go. That's what it's looking like right now. So we've got a big change in the temperatures tomorrow going on, and it will also get kind of breezy. So let's look at Ventus Sky as well with us. We'll do Ventus Sky and windy, I guess, just to show you. Again, visualize what's going to be happening tomorrow. It's a very strong cold front that's going to be moving through. So, yeah, we're near 60 at noon. And then 2 o'clock, still near 60. But by 4 o'clock, yeah, it's 50 degrees. By 6 o'clock, look at that. 10-degree temperature drop in like an hour. The temperatures are going to crash tomorrow night. And then by 9 o'clock, yeah, we're down to only around 30 degrees, and it's going to be pretty cold. And then by 11 o'clock, the temperatures drop down to 25, mid-20s, even colder. So, yeah, it's going to be pretty damn cold. I'll tell you that right now. It's going to be pretty damn cold. It's going to drop, and then we have the wind gusts. That's the other issue. Will be on the tomorrow will be a breezy day. Probably not damaging winds, so probably won't need a wind advisory, but it'll be breezy. That's for sure. And then when the cold front comes through, there could possibly be a gust up to 40 temporarily when the cold front comes through, and then it's going to be interesting to see when that cold front comes through if it's going to maybe have a snow squall or something with it. Right now the models don't show that, but there's always a chance there could be a squall with it, and it could be at least some interesting clouds. So the wind's going to be going tomorrow night, so no radiational cooling But by Sunday morning, the winds have dropped off a little bit. We're still getting gusts up to 27. And the temperatures Sunday morning at 5 in the morning, 19 degrees. It's going to be pretty cold. And then look at that, 8 o'clock, it's still 19 degrees. Wind gusts up to 27, 22 miles an hour. Here we are, 11 a.m. We're still dealing with wind gusts up to 25 miles an hour. So, and you have very dry air in place. So you can see that this could be an issue for fire weather, perhaps. But you see temperatures there pretty low, and wind's still an issue on Sunday. Not wind advisory criteria, but could still be a red flag warning if things are dry enough. And then by Sunday night, it looks like the winds do quiet down, and there could be radiational cooling Sunday night if the winds do die down. And if they do, like I said, the Pine Barrens, single digits, possibly down to 0. For Monday, the wind is not so much an issue Monday. So you can see the wind, not too many. Monday will be a lot less windy than Sunday. So Sunday is definitely going to feel much colder than Monday. So Sunday is definitely going to be your, more bitterly cold kind of day. So that's what I got for you tonight. So that's it for the Long Island Weather Report. Have a good night. Thank you for watching. And I'll be back tomorrow night talking about this really intense cold front that's going to move through tomorrow. But again, if we go look at the models here, strong cold front, but it's not really the models because the air ahead of it isn't that moist. There is not really much precipitation. We'll look at the NAM and see if that shows anything. It really doesn't. But there could be some interesting clouds when it comes through. So we'll have to see. Could be interesting. Could be an interesting cloud formation or two that comes through, and it could be like a squall. But again, the squall element of it is mainly to the north. But we'll have to see. Maybe some of it can hold together for our area and make things a little more interesting. So that wraps up this Long Island Weather Report, Weekend Weather Report. Have a good night.